when that came about, I was in Italy. I was filming a job out there, and I was in one random hotel room. I'm on my laptop. I'm in this room by myself. The night before, they flown in Prada suits. Cartier have delivered jewelry, and I've put all of this stuff on to sit in a hotel room on my ones at a laptop.
Yeah.
Right, and then we get into the ceremony. I'll be real with you. I fell asleep. I don't know what it was, but I must have heard my name. I'm like half waking up. I hear people clapping, and I'm so confused. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realize that I've won. But after that, I've got to give these Prada suits back. I've got to give the Cartier jewelry back. And so by the time I'm in interviews for the thing, I'm back in my onesie. Do you know what I mean? And so they're like, oh, can we see the rest of your clothes? And I'm like, I don't think you want to see that. I'm like, keep it.
It's good to have you here though, man.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Big fan, bruv.
Love.
We've got a lot of friends in common, but we've never actually met. Because you're from Southwest London, you're from Battersea, yeah?
Battersea, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You got good alumni in Battersea. Yeah. Well, I say, it's more So Solid Crew, innit?
Yeah.
I feel like when I think of Battersea, I think of Solid Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because growing up, because I grew up in South East London, innit? I only knew Battersea because I used to go Pimlico.
Yeah, we're the middle ground.
Yeah.
Pass through, don't really...
Yeah. But in my head, I used to always just think of like Battersea Park. And you get older, and then like you'd be like, right, like, So Solid from Battersea.
Yeah, it's nice,
Was
isn't
it? Yeah. Right,
just
okay.
Couple of parts of the states just popped in there,
Yeah, man, yeah. You're Jamaican, well, your parents are Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
Jamaican heritage. So is it your mum that got you into drama?
Yeah.
Into acting?
Yeah, she's the reason I started.
So how did your mum get you into drama then?
Battersea Arts Centre. So I used to pass Battersea Arts Centre on the way to school every day. Never saw it, never saw the building because it's this fancy building I didn't know was for me. Do you know what I mean? But she come back with a leaflet one day. I think I was in year 9. I didn't know nothing about acting. Do you know what I mean? I had no ties to it. She had nothing to do with it. No one in my family did. So it was really random. But she brought back a leaflet. She was like, do you want to give that a go? I was like, no, I'm good. And then she kept kind of bringing it up for about another 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is she getting on to me about this acting? What is it? But I felt afraid of it. And that's kind of what made me lean into it because I'm like, why am I shook of whatever this thing is? Like, let me try.
Yeah, of course.
And that's where it started. I went to Battersea Arts Centre. We did like a little term because we were young and it was just a term. We'd go in, be silly for about an hour and then go home. And at the end of it, we did a showcase for friends and family, just a small thing. But it was the first time I'd been on stage in front of people and spoke. Do you know what I mean? Let alone acted.
Yeah.
So it was a huge thing for me just to get up there. Like even in the class, just putting my hand up to kind of...
Because you was 14, right?
Yeah.
So at that age of 14, was you quite an introvert child at that stage?
Yeah, fully introverted. Like I had to have like speech lessons when I was younger because I just didn't speak.
Oh, really?
Like it was like that. So the idea of like public speaking was just not a thing. But I was very introverted. So I think it's probably, she didn't say it at the time, but it's probably why my mum thought it would be a good idea for me.
Yeah. It's so interesting when people are young and they are a bit of an introvert and they do the thing that makes them front facing to the public, if that makes sense. Because growing up as a child, I was very shy.
Yeah.
So when I would go to like East Street Market with my mum and she'd be like, oh, this is my son, I'd hide behind my mum.
I hid behind my dad.
Oh, is it?
Literally.
Yeah.
And he had to speak for me. I whisper in his ear and it's just that.
Yeah. So it's mad like now when I see like my mum's friends and it's like, oh, look at you on stage. You used to be shy. I remember and I was like, yeah, I hear that, but I'm in it. Like, I'm grown now, innit?
Yeah, trust me. I don't know what it was like for you as well, but for me, the idea of like being in front of people, like just being popular or being like loud and having attention, that was like it weren't safe. It wasn't a safe idea. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I was taught, keep your head down. Do you know what I mean? Like mind your business. Like don't bring attention to yourself. That was just how I was raised. So the idea of doing the opposite and being loud and being on stage and being in the spotlight was just like, no, you don't do that. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like, because you went Richmond College, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Richmond College was one of those colleges where I think I'd say there's probably Richmond College, Kingston College and SFX. It felt like everyone in and I say Southwark, maybe Southwark College as well.
Yeah.
Everyone in South went to these colleges. They were like,
Yeah.
And for anyone listening across the pond, like our colleges are just extended school basically.
Yeah.
So like I felt like these were the 4 colleges that everyone in South went to. So when you go there, you just see it. It's just your age mates.
Yeah.
And people that you grow up with.
Yeah.
So it feels like school, but now you're in school with people that went, I don't know. What school did you go to?
Salesian College.
Okay,
So
okay.
SFX, we got into SFX automatically. And I didn't go because I wanted to stay away from trouble.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
I thought going Richmond. I thought Richmond was a good idea at the time.
Because the area, innit?
Yeah. I'm thinking.
I done the same thing, but I went to Merton College.
Okay.
Yeah. So I left. I done a year at sixth form, and then I left. And I remember I didn't really apply myself properly, and I was just like, I'm left with Southwark College. And then a friend of mine, his mum was like, "Oh, there's this college called Merton College. They're studying what you want to study."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's this? Sutton?" I said, "That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Morden, Northern Line.
Yeah, there's
no one
there.
No one in the ends is
That's
there.
it.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, everyone from South,
Everyone turn up.
was there.
Yeah. I hear it.
So then you joined Identity School, and I felt like that, that in terms of the alumni, John Boyega, Michaela Cole, did Letitia Wright go there as well?
Listen, it's mad. We were all in the same class. It was me, Letitia, Damson, John Boyega, Toby Bakari, Nicole Leckie, Adelayo Adedeo. Like, all of us were in the same class, not even just the same school. And it was before our careers had started. This is like 2008, 2009.
And I feel like this was when Identity School was almost, it was like, because I remember, it felt like afterwards, once everyone was getting cast for stuff, that people knew about it.
Yeah.
But was it at that stage, it was still like in its early development? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think there was probably 2 people there that were like already successful. It was Toby. He'd gone too far at the Royal Court and won, like, I think they'd won like an Olivier, Bolarag Badje had won the Olivier for it. And Arinze Kene, he'd done Mufasa in The Lion King.
Yeah.
Simba, sorry. And so those 2 people were kind of like the stars of the school. But no one had really done TV and screen like that. So honestly, like, all of the success stories came from the people in our class at the time. And it was just and it was beautiful because there was a lot of love in the room. Like, no one was looking down on anybody. Whenever someone had like they've got a show, everyone would celebrate it, but then it would inspire you to go, oh, that's possible. Because we hadn't seen it yet for us.
Yeah,
We didn't have anything to aim for. And it was like Idris Elba, but like everyone thought he's American.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At the time, it was like The Wire.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have anyone to aspire to go, oh, apart from Amel. Amel Amin probably was the only person that I knew that looked like me, that was from London, that was doing really well, So, and Ashley Waters. But Amel was probably my point of focus for that because we were closer in age.
I thought he was for a lot of actors around similar ages, because even we had him on the podcast, and his trajectory, it felt like from when he was in kidulthood, it just skyrocketed. But it was almost that person that you're like, oh, I can follow this journey from this person who feels like we're of similar ages, and we know. It's not like even at that time I didn't know him, but I knew people that knew him. So it was enough to be like, yeah, like that feels like, like when they say that person is like one step away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like for you at that stage as an actor, having people that you're with in class, it must have been so like almost inspiring in a way to kind of be part of this, as much as you're part of like an acting school. It's almost like a brotherhood and a sisterhood where you're just, everyone's in it for the same thing.
Yeah.
So everyone's wins is each other's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fully. We called it a family. And the thing is, because we didn't have the success stories, none of us were going there to be successful or famous. That wasn't the aspiration. It was just work on the craft. And then after that, it was like, oh, we can be famous too. And do you know what I mean? And that was never my aspiration. That was like the opposite thing, was to be famous. I don't understand anyone that would want to be. But being in that kind of room, and obviously you got the talent that's coming out of that. They were talented from when they walked in the room. It wasn't when they got their jobs. Like, we could see in that room how special everyone was, but we didn't know what that would amount to.
Yeah,
we had
of course.
no example of it. Do you know what I mean?
And you started getting roles early. Well, you know, they always say like, you know, when you're an actor, the first roles you get is usually like Casualty and The Bill as well. I think Holby City would be one.
Do the rounds.
Doctors as well. Using Silent Witness, My Murder. So what's that like when you first start getting some of those roles? Because I feel like they're the introductory roles, but almost on every actor's CV, you're going to see a Casualty, a Doctors, a Holby City. But what's it like being on set for like, because I know like you kind of, would you say you call yourself also like more of a theatre actor than a screen actor?
Definitely. So there's a random story. But before I even started at Identity, I started a musical theatre company when I was still in school. So imagine I'm in year 10, I'm going to school, and I've just started this drama course at Southfields. And 2 of the boys in my year, they hear about it. And one of them, he used to make beats. He was a producer. He used to make beats for people that would rap. And then the other one, we called him the Ideas Man. So he just had ideas all the time. But he was a producer in it, do you know what I mean? And they must have come up to me because they heard I was on a drama course. And they were like, yo, bud, we're starting a musical theatre company. Do you want to be the lead in our shows? They never heard me sing. They never see me act. But do you know what I mean? They just heard. But we did it though. And we actually like registered the company. We started doing musical theatre shows. And we started them at Theatre 503. And then we did a few of them there. And then they went to German Street Theatre in the West End. But like, we're still like 15 to 17 at this point. So that was my start on stage, was through them actually. And then I started doing a lot of like community theatre plays. And that was really kind of my training ground before I started professionally acting. But my first job professionally was Silent Witness. And it's going to sound like I'm name dropping now, but it would have just felt like doing the usual rounds if not for the people that I was working with, because that 2 episodes that I did, it was with Amilamine, it was with Daniel Kaluuya, it was with Toby Bakari, it was with Nicole Leckie. Like all of us were in the same episodes. And so I had a really kind of, Charles Menier as well was incredible in it. I had this really kind of big welcoming experience to the industry because I was with so many people that were like, that looked like me, but also that were from similar backgrounds to me. And Daniel Kaluuya had been working already, and so he was able to kind of take me under and go like, this is how it works. And do you know what I mean? Like school me on a few things. Charles was the same and Mo was the same. And so it was a beautiful introduction to what this industry can be like.
I guess that must mean such a lot when you're from here, but also knowing that everyone has a similar story where like, it's almost like, I see us almost as like 4th generation in some ways when it comes to like the entertainment space, where you can get in a room and you're like, I'm meant to be here, but still feel unwelcome.
Oh yeah.
So when you go into a room and you see people that listen to the music you're listening to, or sometimes there's just like a vibe that you can't even explain it, but you just know. So like, it could just be something happening on set and you just look at someone and you don't need to say something. You're like, oh, that man, I'm even mad, boy. And that's it. It's enough to make you feel like, thank God you're here.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people forget how important that can feel when you're on when you're in the room, but also when you're on a big set or it's your first time there and you do have someone that says, yeah, man, like, listen, bro, like I'll be honest, like, bro, make sure you're here on time, innit? Because these men are wilding, innit? And that is in so many pockets of life within our community. I remember working in retail. We had this boy come in and I think he was doing his training. So some people would come for like an hour or 2 and he done his training and then he was like, oh, what you saying, brother? You cool? I said, yeah, man, what's good, man? He said, like, what's it saying in it though? Really, like, what's it saying in it? I said, bro, I can't lie, like, it's decent, innit? Like, that was a good, but manager's on one still, not gonna lie to you. But obviously, if you do your lunch, just make sure you come back because you don't want that. And it was that small, like, he was only there for about an hour or 2, but it was enough that he was like, yeah, I hear that. And I was like, what you think? You thinking of staying? He's like, nah, secretly, fuck this, man. Like,
hold on, as in, like, he had the job for an hour?
No. So what he done his training, but in our store. So he was like, I think they was gonna see what store they wanted to put him in.
Okay, got you.
But I gave him the heads up, and then I was like, oh, how you finding it? And he was just like, bro, secretly, bro, this store, it's not for me, bro. I said, listen, I hear that, bro. Don't worry, man. Listen, I'm trying to leave too, bruv.
Yeah.
So, but it's enough that
Yeah.
those interactions are the things that, again, it's so hard to like describe, but I call it, it's not an interaction. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain, man. But you know, like when you're on a set or anywhere, when you're like, I get you and you get me, and I'm here to look after you.
Yeah.
Let's just work together.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, fully.
So now you're in your middle, yeah, where I feel like your trajectory in terms of like an actor, some of the things that you've been in, like, is like mind blowing in a sense of like seeing like your range, for example, like, you know, playing Kinta Kunte is, what went through your mind when it came to auditioning for something like that? Because is it that, wow, this is a life-changing opportunity, or does that come with pressure? Do you know what I mean? To live up to the role of an iconic character, but also it's truth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it was a bit of a weird one. My mum, again, so much goes back to my mum, but she bought me the box set of the original Roots about a year before I even heard about them making another one. Just randomly, she was like, oh, you know, you should watch this. We'd had it in the house the whole time, but I just never picked it up. So I watch it, and I'm having this experience. I must have been about 22 at the time, and I'm watching Roots for the first time on my ones. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
So my mind is blown. I'm telling everyone, oh, have you seen Roots? Have you seen Roots? Like, it's just come out.
Did it vex you?
Huh?
Did it vex you? It made me mad.
No, honestly, it was a lot.
We watched it in school.
It's good I didn't watch it in school. It's good. It was a lot. And so I've just had this experience, and so then I hear about them remaking it. So my guard goes up straight away. I'm like, why are you doing this again? Like, it's already been done. This is incredible.
Yeah,
like, I'm telling people to watch that one. What do you want to do with it? That's new. But that was me hearing about it. Then I get an audition for it, and I'm like, and it's for Kunta Kinte, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. I don't know that it should be even being done. I don't know that I should be doing it. And because of that, I didn't prepare for it. Because I didn't know if I was going to do it or not. So I'm just kind of like going back and forth. Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? I don't know. And then it comes to the night before the audition, and I still haven't decided. And I'm
Did you do a self-tape audition, or was it in the room?
No, it's in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still like, I'm in the button, but I'm like, oh, it's the night before. I can't cancel now. So I'm going to the audition, and I haven't prepared for it. I haven't learnt my lines. I haven't done nothing. So it was a really bad audition. And I get there late. Like, it's raining. I'm wet. And I'm just apologising. I got there about an hour late. Like, I've never done that before. It was so bad.
How many people was in the room?
There was 2 people. There was the casting director and her assistant. And they were really nice about it. But you know when they're being nice, it's even worse, because I'm like, being nice, but you know I've done something wrong here. But anyway, I do the audition. It's the worst thing I've ever done. Like, honestly, like, it was so bad. The accent was all over the place. It was supposed to be Mandinka, and I don't know what it was. It might have been Australian at some point, right? It's just bad. But I come out, and then 6 months later, I've forgotten about it. I'm not even thinking about it, because I just thought, of course, they're not going to call me back. 6 months later, I get a call back, and I'm confused. But I prepare for it this time. And this time it's with the director. And the director's sitting there. I come into the room, and he's just sitting there watching me. And he doesn't say anything. And I look at the casting director, and she's like, just shrugs her shoulders. And so imagine just standing in the room, and he's just silent for about 2 minutes. Just says, stand over there, and he's just staring at me. And I'm just like, all right. I don't know if it's like some kind of test. And then eventually he starts asking me questions about where I'm from, and like, oh, I'm Jamaican, what's your heritage? And he starts talking to me. And then he's just like, he just goes into it, and he's reading with me. And I didn't even know we'd started the audition. So I just kind of jumped straight into character then. Anyway, cut a long story short, I find out later, like, once I've got the job, that whole process, the producer sits me down one day, and he's like, do you know why we gave you this part? And I'm like, no, I've got no idea. And he's like, your first audition was basically, I was one of the first people to be seen for the job.
Okay.
And he said that the first audition was like, basically they thought they were going to give me the part on the spot. That really bad audition that I did, they were saying was incredible. They were like, you've got the part, but they were like, we can't just give it to the first person we've seen. So they spent that 6 months basically going around the world trying to find somebody else better, and not better actor, but a better suited person for that role. Which is spinning my mind, because I'm like, that was the worst audition I've ever done. But you're seeing something else, and it kind of, it spoke to something that was like profound and like bigger than me. It felt like this wasn't about how good of an actor I was or how much prep I did. This was like just something I was supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? And it was going to happen either way. And when he was sharing that with me, it just kind of affirmed that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like that sense of belonging, that sense of purpose, I think really kicked in moving forward with my career from that point of just like, there are certain roles that are made for me to do.
Yeah.
And I just got to do my best when I receive them. Do you know what I mean?
I can't imagine what it's like when you go into those rooms and you haven't prepared, because I think it's easy to kind of talk yourself out of the role.
Yeah.
Because in your head, you're like, well, I ain't prepared. I'll just go and do the thing. But then it's that weird thing that when you get the callback, your head, it's like you're saying, your head must have been spinning, but also like, I didn't prepare. Imagine what I would have been able to do if I had prepared for the role.
Yeah.
How do you go into those rooms now, knowing that, you know, you've got a role in something so iconic when you didn't prepare and then you then got the callback? How do you kind of prepare for roles now?
Do you know what? It was a big lesson because I realized that like sometimes all of that preparation can be vanity. Do you know what I mean? It can just be to make myself feel like I've done some work, when really and truly, once you get in the room, it's just about being present and telling the truth. And so my preparation now doesn't look like how it used to, where I was like, okay, I've got to know these lines back to front and I've got to do all of this research and do all of this detailed backstory and all of that stuff. It still has its place. But when it comes down to it, when I'm in that room, they're not seeing my preparation. They're seeing whatever it is that I show. And what all of that preparation is for is to reach a place of understanding and clarity of this human being that I'm supposed to be telling the story of.
Yeah.
And if I can get to that space and be honest and share like real emotions, then that's the work. And so whatever it takes for me to get to that space. And I think probably what happened with Roots was because I was so unprepared and because I was so late, it forced me to be entirely present. Do you know what I mean? Like forced me to just get out of myself and just give it my all, because that's all I had. Do you know what I mean? I had the script in my hand and I'm just like, cool, I'm going to give you the best that I can with what I've got. And so I've tried to find a balance now of doing the preparation, obviously making sure I'm on time, and learning everything. I really like to learn the words. That's really important for me. Even if they say it's okay if you have your script in hand, for me it's distracting to have the words in front of me.
Because some people don't know that with acting, when you're on set, that you can have your lines in your hand. Quickly have a quick read through, and then film the scene. A lot of people don't know that.
No,
I only learned that by being on set once, and I tell you actually who when I first ever filmed anything, I filmed this comedy series called Drunk Histories, and it was myself, Judy Love, we had small roles in it, and Ashley Waters was the main character, and he was playing, I think it was Charles I. And what it was, someone would tell a story and they'll be drunk, and it would be like famous stories in history, and the story was about Charles I. And I remember seeing Ashley Waters on set, and I was just like, oh, right, in my head, I'm like, right, that's Ashley D, bro. Right, that's Ashley D. So I'm spent the night learning the lines, going through it, and then I was like, hey, what's good, Ash, man? Yeah. So how you find the script? I'd never forget. He was like, bruv, bad man don't learn script, bruv. Come, man, let's roll. And he was dressed as Charles I. I can't lie. In my head, I was like, I don't know if I need to learn these scripts, you know? But I didn't know that you could be on set and just have a little look at lines and then run the scene. How do you think that differs for you as someone who is you call yourself a theatre actor first? How do you find, I guess, preparing for the role that is on screen compared to stage? Because you don't get that chance.
When I started acting, like you're saying, it was theatre first, and so there isn't a choice with that. You have to know your words back to front. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get to bring your script with you on stage. But I brought that same mentality onto TV. And with TV, sometimes they haven't even finished the script whilst you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? They're still sending you redrafts every other day. And so even if I learn it, I'm aware that I'm going to get another version of the script maybe a couple of days later and have to relearn it again. And so it took me a couple of years to actually understand that actually it's a different process with TV. It's not about learning the script back to front. It's about understanding this person and being ready to adapt when they change it, because they most most likely will. I don't think I've ever had a TV job where they haven't changed the script. Do
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Film as well, not as much, but TV, they're changing that thing every day. So my preparation looks very different. Like, the language and the words are key with theatre. Like, it's so important. But with TV, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's more about embodying this person. It's about understanding this person. It's about, like, so many other things. Like, it's their physicality. It's their look. It's just whatever that I don't know. There isn't a word for it, but whatever that thing is that allows you to connect to this person in real time and be present. That's the preparation, you know. Yeah.
What takes the majority of your energy when you are looking at a scene and a character? Because if you're having to prepare so much for stage and you have to learn the lines, and it's in time, and knowing that your other actor knows the lines, and sometimes you know the other actor's lines. Yeah. So you're sitting there like, brother, I know your line, that's not your line. What are you doing? You're changing the thing.
Yeah.
Why you perform to the audience for, bruv?
Yeah.
But you just have to stay into that character. Whereas there's times I've been on set and I can see actors look physically like and mentally drained, but it's like, all right, and cut, we've got to do it, change this over, or guys, cut, there's a plane coming over.
Yeah.
And still have to keep like your focus, which is the one that really requires the mental capacity.
Well, out of theatre and stage. I'm sorry, stage and
screen.
Film. To be honest, it's both, but in different senses, you know. Like with stage, once you're on. It's not like, oh, I forgot my line, can I just come off stage and come back? Like, you just got to be there. And you don't know how the audience is going to respond. Every audience is different. So if you start preempting, oh, they're going to laugh here, and that becomes part of your performance, and then they don't laugh, and then you're thrown off, it's like, you haven't got time for that. So you have to be on. But there's a different thing now with screen where sometimes the work is you're waiting. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go in there and you think you're first up and you've prepared, and then you're waiting for like 5 hours before you're seen. And it's keeping your energy up because you can't come on and rubbing your eyes, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be ready and up. And so sometimes that's the kind of mental focus, is just kind of knowing how to maintain your energy and sustain your energy through a 12-hour, 14-hour day, and do it over and over again. Like, there's times where I've done like really, really emotional scenes, like you're pouring out your whole heart, and it's like doing that in real life is a lot. Doing it one time is a lot, but having to do it 17 times, like however many times, because you've got this shot and then we do a few times and then they change the angle and then they're onto the other person and you're having to just redo it over and over again with that same truth. That's a whole nother kind of focus and kind of mentality that I'd never have to do with stage. Yeah. But it's a new kind of challenge, you know. Yeah. You was in Black Mirror. You was in the episode titled Men Against Fire. I'm a massive fan of Black Mirror. I've seen that episode that you're in. When you're in things that, again, it's like distorted reality, how do you prepare for those roles? Because I guess you're able to prepare for a role like Kinta Kunte, where you can look at history, you can have a look at a thing, but now you're in something that's like so iconic, but it's sci-fi. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And iconic at the same time, but also you're like, oh, right, this is a bit creepy, man. Right, this is how do you get yourself in the mode for those kind of roles? With that one in particular, it was it's fun. We had a lot of soldier training, so we kind of literally got taught by some people in the army how to be soldiers, which was pretty cool. I'd never done anything like that before. But then honestly, once you get into it, it's like any other job for me. It's just, with that particular episode, there was a kind of ensemble feel for it, which was cool. So a lot of the prep looked like working with each other, having a shared understanding of, you know, what it would be like to be on each other's team, because we're complete strangers at the end of the day, but we've got to look like we've known each other for years. So it's a more collaborative thing for that particular episode. But yeah, honestly, the prep was just like any other, man. It was just understanding this guy. I think the only kind of complicated thing about that was like we're using technology that doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? And so it's having chats with the director to go, cool, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, how does this work? And kind of getting our heads around the, what do I call it? The technical aspects of the show. Because it's kind of running theme with Black Mirror that like, they speak to the future of what could be.
Yeah.
But it's like the very near future. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun on that one.
Are you a method actor?
I wouldn't call myself a method actor, but I think there's ways about sometimes how I prepare, especially how I used to prepare, that would kind of fall into the method kind of thing. But method is, I feel like people throw that word around sometimes, but it's a very extreme thing. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're talking about method, for me, there's times where I've like needed or felt I've needed to stay in character from when I get the part to when I finish the part. So I'm going home with that character. I'm staying in that mode, whether it's the accent, whether it's the clothes, like I'm staying in that person. And it's felt necessary to embody the character and sustain it. But I've never like played a homeless person and then slept on the street. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
To kind of get into it. I haven't gone that far with it.
Because I know I've seen an interview where you said that you want to be referred to as your name as the character when you're on set. Don't call me Malachi. So was that the same when you was on the set for Small Axe? Because I feel that's such like an ensemble cast that you're with your friends as well. Do you know what I mean? I know Letitia Wright's in it. Some amazing performances in it, and then you're working with Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
So, and also I feel like it's one of those pieces that you watch, and I can't imagine what it was like when the cameras weren't rolling. But it's a bunch of actors, but you're like, okay, this scene, you know what I mean? We're in the mangrove. They're playing music. It's a vibe and action, and then you cut, and you're like, "Hey, yeah, bro, that was a good vibe."
Yeah,
but are you still staying into that character, knowing that you're playing like a character that has the setting like 1950s, Britain, but also you have an accent as well, but you're also with your friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Okay, so I've got to explain this one still. So it's not every job that I've done where I'm like, I need to be called this character's name, but I think there's a couple, and I think it's partly because of, as much as I'm in front of people now and I'm doing this job, I'm still very much introverted, right? And so I still kind of struggle with that sometimes. And so for me, when I embody someone else, part of my being able to convince myself that I'm this other person, because it's a weird thing that we do. Do you know what I mean? You put on someone's clothes and go like, I'm someone else now. Like, it's a really weird thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I should probably see a therapist at some point. But part of my being able to really believe that is being called that person's name. And so for me, if I'm called my name, I'm going to respond as me. And the way that I do things, like when I play a part, I'm really trying to get as far away from me as possible. So anything that I can do to keep myself in that reality is always going to be a request. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's helpful. With Mangrove, it was a bit of both. And I kind of started it thinking I needed to be called Darkest, but actually when I got there, it wasn't necessary. I was fine being called Malachi. People ended up calling me Darkest anyway. But the one thing that I did do on that job was I needed to stay in accent the whole time. His accent was very specific and not mine. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't close to mine at all. So I feel like coming in and out of it would have made it a lot harder than to just stay in it. So I stayed in accent, I only stayed in accent when I was in the clothes too. That's another thing. As soon as I'm in my own clothes, like, I'm me. That's a rule for me. That's a boundary. But as soon as I put on his shoes, like, I'm him. But I didn't need the name for that one. And I don't know. I don't really know what that is. Every job's different. But sometimes, I need to hear that character's name, and so I can respond as him as opposed to as me. You know? Because
in 2020, that's when you won a BAFTA for Best Supporting Actor.
I did, yeah.
In that. How was that feeling? Because you won it during the pandemic, so it was in lockdown, where the ceremony was closed, but also the people that are in your category as well, like Michael Sheen in there, some amazing actors that one, even in the category, but also it's you're like, oh, I'm up for this thing, but I'm not at the big fancy thing, and I'm doing it at my house on a Zoom.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. How was that for you? Just winning, because I guess it's one thing. Like the win sometimes is being in the thing and doing the thing that you love, and waking up in the morning. You're like, this is my job.
Yeah.
Like, and this is something I've dreamed about. But then, how does that change now? I say now, but how was that different once you had won this thing to show for it? Do you know what I mean?
I'll be transparent with you.
Yeah.
So when that came about, I was in Italy. I was filming a job out there. And so when the ceremony happened, I was in one random hotel room. Like they found like something in the base of the hotel room where I could go and use this computer. And I'm on my laptop. I'm in this room by myself. The night before, they flown in Prada suits from New York, from France, from Paris, and from the UK. And they've flown them all over to the hotel. I'm trying different ones on. I'm putting them on. Cartier have delivered jewelry, and you've got this big serious man that's come to deliver the jewelry. So they've given me all this jewelry, and I've put all of this stuff on to sit in a hotel room on my ones at a laptop.
Yeah.
Right. And then we get into the ceremony, and it's weird. I'm looking at the screen, and it's like I can see people that I know in the seats, but they're like, there's like loads of spaces apart from people. Like I think there's maybe 15 people in the room. All the spaces are empty because you can't sit next to each other. And then we go into like this kind of, I don't know what they call it. They called it a room where basically I'm not in the ceremony room on the laptop. Like imagine a Zoom, but you're not let.
It's like a waiting room.
Yeah, like a waiting room. So
I've done the same one the year before.
Okay.
Where you just see bare people like, right, there's bare people in it.
So I was mostly in the waiting room, right, in these fancy clothes, and I'll be real with you, I fell asleep. Like I'm tired. I've been shooting. Now I'm sitting in this seat. Nothing's happening on the screen really, and I'm waiting, and I'm not thinking I'm gonna win anything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just sitting, and I fell asleep, and then I don't know what it was, but I must have heard my name, and someone's like, Malachi, are you there? And I wake up, and it's like, are you there? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, wait, you're gonna be on in a sec. Are you ready? I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like half waking up, and then I hear my name, and I hear people clapping, and I'm so confused. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realise that I've won. But after that, I go back up because I've got to give these Prada suits back. I've got to give the Cartier jewelry back. And so by the time I'm in interviews for the thing, I'm back in my onesie. Do you know what I mean? And so they're like, oh, can we see the rest of your clothes? And I'm like, I don't think you want to see that. I'm like, keep it up here. You don't want to see what I'm wearing right now, because I've had to give all this stuff back. And it was like this kind of smoke and mirrors thing. Do you know what I mean? Because even winning the award, I'm in Italy. I haven't got anything that I'm holding. So it didn't feel real for about 2 weeks until I got back home and was actually able to look at this thing. It was a strange experience. Kind of felt like Cinderella's, like by midnight, everything's gone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm back to work.
Was you back on set? I'm assuming the next day.
Just back on set the next day. Back to work. It was just, and I think that was healthy for me at the time. Actually, it kind of kept me grounded and kind of kept me in kind of real perspective of what's actually happening. And I think the only weird thing for me about winning the BAFTA was like suddenly feeling like I needed to act better. I'm like, oh, now I'm a BAFTA winning actor. I've got to act like a BAFTA winning actor, whatever that means. And I thank God I had a couple of people around me that just kind of helped put things into perspective and went like, whoever it is that won the BAFTA in the first place, you're still that same person. You ain't got to change up anything. Do you know what I mean? But there is that pressure now of like, oh, now suddenly people are expecting you to be really good. Whereas before, it's like by accident almost. So, oh, he is good. Do you know what I mean? But now I've got to prove it. Yeah, it was a weird experience. Very grateful for it. But I think it was very weird it happening in that. COVID was weird, man. Do you know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
Yeah, it was strange.
let's not try and sugarcoat. It was a weird time. Speaking of the BAFTAs, I met Stephen Graham at the BAFTAs. Actually, it's the first time I ever met him. Nicest, humblest, coolest guy.
Yeah, he's proper
ever. And he said a speech at the award show when he won. And it really stuck with me, where I can't remember if I'm quoting it word for word, but he was just like, being honest, doing what we do is a privilege. This is just being here is the privilege. Like, as much as, yes, this is the win, like, it's almost, and it was a reflection of, I think sometimes when you look at what we do, you sit there and you're like, wow, like, when you think of the percentages, just to wake up and be on that set, and you're like, oh right, this is like a big deal, man. So what was it like with you working on him on 1,000 Blows? Because I met Damien from Story Collective, and he was telling me about the set. I think it's in Q, right?
Yeah.
And he said it's like a multi-million-pound set, you know, working with people, you know, Disney, you know, an amazing cast, and it's a big budget, it's front and center. But now you're working with alongside actors that you're like, oh wow, look who I'm working with. And it's a period drama, but I felt like it's a period drama that feels really cool. And I feel like I see myself in this one. Yeah. Where some of them I'm like, this is great. I don't see myself here though.
Yeah.
And the only people I'm seeing that look like me might just be a few extras here and there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Sideman.
Yeah, so this one really was something where I was like, oh right, boy, we got one of the men them in a period drama. And it's just like, but also it felt like working class. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So how was that experience for you with 1,000 Blows, man? Because that is, like, even looking at it, I'm like, right, it's not green screen.
Yeah. Honestly, the set was incredible, man. Honestly, you went there and like, just, I was in awe of it, man. Even like every cobble, every brick someone has created.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm in awe of this set. I've never seen anything like it. And also then you've got this thing where usually on a set, when you open a door, there's nothing there. And then you have to go to a next room 10 minutes away to actually go into the room that you're supposed to go into. Like, we didn't have that with this. Like, when you open a door, like, there's a room.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? You can go up the stairs. Like, it changes everything because you haven't got to imagine it anymore. Like, you can actually just see it and respond to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the set was incredible. And honestly, playing that part, obviously being of Jamaican heritage, that was like the first time I'd got to play someone with my actual heritage, you know, which felt like an honour. It felt like a pressure. And I just had my grandma on my head thinking, she's going to cuss me out if I don't get this right. You know what I mean? But it was a huge privilege. And then not just that, but this particular man, Hezekiah Moscow, who really did in the 1880s leave Jamaica to come to London to become a lion tamer. Ended up becoming a boxer. But what he came to do, it was just like so inspiring. Do you know what I mean? Like, even now, the idea of someone doing that is just like, what you're doing, like, that's an idiotic thing to do. So to imagine someone thinking like that back then, and thinking that was actually possible enough. Because he weren't like he could take a plane for a couple, like, that's a whole journey. Do you know what I mean?
That's on the sea, bro.
Yeah,
of course.
It's an honour to play him, and an honour to play someone with so much integrity, and someone who's intelligent as well. Because that's another thing of, like, if you did see people that look like us on screen, especially in a period drama, they're usually, you know, they're a bit silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But props to Stephen Knight. They made him an intellectual as well as a fighter, which is not often the case. So it was an honour to play him, man, for sure.
And series 2 is upon us. What can we expect for series 2? Because I know that I only know this because Damien told me, but he said that you guys, I don't know if I've got this right, you filmed series 1 and series 2
back to back.
Yeah. So that must have been almost 2 years ago then.
Yeah,
you filmed it.
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah. So series 2. So what can people expect now for series 2?
Gets a lot darker, man. Anyone that's seen season 1, we're going to see these same characters in very different circumstances. Everyone's going through their battles, man. They're going through it. And I feel like the image that I have is like of a phoenix. You know, like when they die and then they rise again. I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of these characters. It's like they're going through their own kind of personal deaths and figuring out what it takes to rebuild themselves. But it's an exciting one, man. We was at the premiere yesterday and just kind of watching episode 1 again. Like, it feels like we've got something special again with this one, man. It's explosive. The 40 elephants are much more kind of front and center with this one, which I'm excited for. And we kind of really get into the details of who these individual women were. But I don't want to spoil it, but there's a few different realms that we go into that we didn't explore in season 1 that we go into with this one. So I'm excited for it.
And what does your end start to look like as you become, you know, a big international actor where you're in things with, you know, Stephen Graham front and center on, you know, working with Disney and, you know, all the actors that, like, you know, but also like the that those people you work with, that kind of alumni of Letitia Wright and Damson Idris, where you guys are really like flying the flag for a lot of British actors, where, you know, they look up to you, and there'll be actors listening to this now and they're like, oh wow, like, I see where this thing can take me, where it can go, you know, where you can go from being in, you know, an acting school in Battersea to being in one of the biggest TV series in the country.
And then sitting alongside you.
I try, bruv.
Come on,
bruv. I try, man.
Yeah.
But like, how do you start to kind of like, you know, plan for later on in life? Because I feel like, you know, your mum gave you an opportunity in sense of like, hey, like, let's go to this acting thing, which, like you say, like it changed the trajectory of your life in some ways. And, you know, you've been able to do things that you sit there and you're like, wow, like, you know, being a young boy, watching Roots myself at school, and then seeing someone like you play Kinta Kunte is like, rah, boy, that's like the man them are playing Kinta Kunte. Do you know what I mean? But almost you're just like, to see you in different realms of like a Black Mirror, small acts, like your range is huge. So how do you start looking at like your legacy? Because you said you had your own like musical theatre production, and is that what you kind of start planning for in the future in some ways, with like an identity? So you have, you know, you create the next like Letitia Wrights and Damson Idrises and, you know, Malachi Kirbys, you know.
I'm in a space of building for sure. I think there's a lot of things you just said that I want to unpack, and I don't even know if we've got the time, but there's something about movement, right? Movement is what we're supposed to do as humans. I believe that wholeheartedly. I feel like we're supposed to move. Like, anything that stays still just dies. Like, it's like the difference between a river and a pond. Do you know what I mean? And literally, when I look back, movement saved my life. Even if I speak about just moving house, like moving from Battersea to Thornton Heath, and then moving again from Thornton Heath to Croydon, and then moving again from Croydon out in the sticks. Like, all of those times that I moved house were pivotal. And if I look back, like, the time that I moved from Battersea to Thornton Heath changed my journey home from school. That stopped me from getting into a lot of things that I would have been. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same with my career. Like, this career has allowed me to move, and it's changed my life, and it's saved my life many times over. And I guess what I'm saying is, for me, I want to create opportunities for other people to move. Do you know what I mean? Because some people, as much as I'm saying that, they don't have that opportunity to move from the space that they're in, whether that's mentally or physically. So there's things that I'm building. I started a production company earlier this year. Finally, it's something I've been procrastinating with for a long time. And there's some stuff that I want to do with young people that I'm building. And really, I guess if I'm thinking about legacy, which is a scary word for me, it's something that I run away from a lot. But I do want to leave something behind that I guess has my heart in it, that can exist when I'm not here. And hopefully allow for the opportunities that I was blessed to receive, that other people may not be given a door to. You know, that's definitely a part of my consciousness right now. But also, I feel like I'm just getting started as well. You know, as grateful as I am for my career, I feel like I'm still kind of underachieving, and I've still got so much more to do and so much more to get out of me. You know, and that excites me. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where your career flies off to, because it's exciting seeing the choices that you've made as an actor, because I feel like you're one of those actors where it's like, oh, that's a good role. But I know it's a role that I feel like you thought about, and I don't know how many roles you must get, you know, sent to you, but I feel like you probably say no to more things than you say yes to.
Definitely.
And I only see that just from the outside of just, assuming. But yeah, really good roles that feel like they got real meat on the bones. Do you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh yeah, that role.
Yeah.
I could imagine you looking at the script and being like, yeah, I want this role still.
Do you know what it is? And part of that goes back to movement. Do you know what I mean? Like as risky as it might not be, like the most career thing to do, but for me, I want to keep moving with my career. So I want to delve into stuff that is the risk that I haven't touched, that might work or might not work, but it's something new.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like it's a space that I haven't inhabited before. It's a costume, it's a sound, it's a time period, whatever it is, but it's not the thing I've done before. I want to keep doing that with my career. I feel like it's important for me as an artist to keep myself alive,
Yeah.
Bruv,
it's been a pleasure to have you on a podcast though, man.
Bro.
And I can't wait to see I can't wait to see 1,000 Blows. I'll be watching it over Christmas. That's my view and already there.
Love.
But it's amazing just to see like the things you've achieved and what you're achieving. So my friend, it's been a pleasure. This has been your beginning, middle and end. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate it if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.